people who work as vendors here in the Capitol as well. We know that this is a disruption to them and their families. There's no pride, there's no glee in that. The Constitution indicates that members of Congress get paid, and so that is the current law. Some members will take other positions to have their pay set aside for a moment of time. Every member will make their own decisions. Mike?
Thank you. Republican leaders are saying that they're not going to negotiate until the government is open. You're saying you're not going to open the government until they negotiate. So you guys have a real problem up here in the Capitol. With that in mind, do you see anyone in the White House, the president or anyone else, as a better negotiating partner at this point in terms of opening up the government? Even though you just said, what did you just say? We don't have true negotiating partners over there. But is there anyone in the White House?
Yeah, I don't think there's. I think it's incredibly difficult, but I think I don't think we trust any deal without Donald Trump in the room and as part of it. House Republicans have proven, even if they agree to something, they have to go back to him to bless it. And so I don't think at this point there's a solution without the president being in the room. And I think Leader Jeffries and Leader Schumer said the same thing in the White House, or something similar to the president in the White House. And I don't think that congressional leaders can push back on that at all. It's proven time and time again to be the case. I hope we were in a different situation where we, could engage in that. House Republicans have burnt through their goodwill by walking away from bipartisan deals in the past. Yeah.
Today was the first day that NPR and PBS were stopped receiving federal funds. What are your concerns with this lack of funding?
Our concerns are, the bedrock of our democracy is a free press, and that means everybody should get an opportunity to hear the news, no matter your zip code, no matter if you're in a rural community or an urban community. And many communities get their news through one or two, channels or radio stations. And in a lot of rural America, much of that is through NPR and their affiliates. So I'm less concerned with the kind of beltway news sphere. No disrespect to all of you, but how Americans across this country receive their news, and in many cases there's been media consolidation and just geographic barriers to people getting their news. We need to make sure that people have fair and honest reporting so they can make a decision on what's best for them and their families and their communities. And I think the decisions that Donald Trump and House Republicans have made to eliminate that funding is wrong. I think a couple of Republicans have spoken out against it. Some have tried to strike a deal and have floated options, but to date we don't have that. And so many of these stations, I'm afraid, are going to lose funding and jeopardize the services that they provide to rural America, and that's unfortunate. Last one.
What are your reactions to the tariffs on pharmaceutical drugs that take effect today?
I mean, the tariffs in general that Donald Trump is put forth are terrible for our economy. I'm only pausing and withholding because if you wait a day or two, he might pull them back, right? He might pull them back and then put them back on again, off again. It's terrible for the economy. It's terrible for the markets, but more importantly, it hurts people. It adds uncertainty to folks. It raises the costs of healthcare. It raises the price of prescription drugs. House Democrats have made it a priority to lower the cost of prescription drugs. That's exactly what we did when we were in control, ensuring that Medicaid has the negotiating power, Medicare has the negotiating power that the VA has in keeping the cost of prescription drugs down. That's a policy that we stand by. That's a policy we would expand if we had our options. We want to lower the cost that people pay for pharmaceuticals. What Donald Trump is doing is raising the costs that pharmaceuticals pay. That is diametrically opposed to what we want to achieve, and it's unfortunate, but it continues down the path of chaos and confusion that his administration has rained upon us for 10 months.
The tariffs are making this bad economy even worse. So estimates have come out saying that the average American family is going to pay $2,500 more because of Trump's tariffs. And in terms of pharmaceuticals and healthcare, the reason that we are here today, Democrats, is we are fighting in D.C. to cancel the cuts, lower the costs, and save healthcare. So the Republicans have massively cut healthcare and Medicaid. You're going to have $500 billion cut coming to Medicare if that's not fixed. You have Republicans discontinuing the tax credits for their Affordable Care Act. And in America, if you don't have health care coverage and you get really sick, you still get treated at the hospital because we don't let people die. And then those costs get passed along to everybody who does have employer-based health care coverage. So those premiums also increase. So we're fighting to lower costs, not only in pharmaceutical drugs, but everywhere in healthcare. And we ask Republicans to stop your vacations and come to D.C. and work with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.